Hey everyone, it's Sherry with Squatchable, and tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about Storm Area 51 and the events that are happening out there and why we've decided we're not going to go, at least not this year, maybe next year if they do it again. So over the last few weeks, when it looked like there would be a possibility that we could go ahead and head on out there, we decided to do a lot of research, and everything ends up leading to scenarios that kind of border the I shouldn't be alive series television shows. You're going out into the desert, a place where the nearest gas station is something like 50 miles away. There's going to be a whole lot of people out there. You're going to be kind of stuck out there. So when we first started looking at the possibility of going, we were expecting that it was still going to be a bunch of crazy people trying to bust through the gates of Area 51 to free the aliens. And, that sounds like something that, granted, I would not want to be one of those people trying to run through the gate and trying to find aliens. But you know what? It sounded like it would be something worth watching. Because, humans, we're a lot of fun to watch sometimes. So I was thinking about heading on out there and watching, see if anybody tried to do a Naruto run. I'm sure there would have been plenty. But when I started actually looking at the stuff, it started being a music festival. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went from, hey, we're going to break out the aliens, to, hey, we're going to sit in a hot and steamy, well, not steamy, a hot and crispy desert to listen to unknown music stars. We don't know who the list is yet because they had to get all their final permits and stuff before they finalized anybody. Today they finally got all those permits, so we should start hearing about who the musicians are, but still, it's not really my cup of tea. And I guess nearby there is actually a truly a UFO related event, but it's going to be a lot of speakers just hanging around talking about, UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to manage having their event with all the traffic of the, I think they're calling it alien stock. I don't know how they're going to manage all that traffic, so it doesn't sound like it's a wise idea. I started looking at the idea of maybe renting a hybrid car so that way I would have better gas mileage and carrying some gas with me. But in the end, you're still stuck out there in the middle of the desert, and if something happens, you're probably going to be stuck behind like 500 other people who are in the same predicament as you. And yeah, it's just so many factors just don't sound too wise to us for heading out there for that event. And on top of that, you do have to camp out in the desert. There's no hotels out there except for the little Alien, which only has a few rooms. So people are pretty much doing another Burning Man kind of situation. And me, as a lady, I have heard the horrors of Burning Man. Um, the whole currency that they use out at Burning Man, I don't think they would do that there at Alien Stock, but I've heard things about, for us ladies, the dust and everything is either alkaline or acidic, but it reaches some delicate regions, and from Burning Man, you're gonna leave flaming one way or another. So it sounded a bit more like Burning Man at this point, and I'm not interested in that situation. The other thing too is that from what I read, some of the people that are organizing it are associated with the whole Burning Man stuff. So, everything, it just sounds like it's another Burning Man 2.0. I don't know if maybe Burning Man out there at, was it Black Rock Desert or something? I don't know if that whole event is kind of dying down and they're trying to start up a new one or what's going on. But those kind of events, I'm just not interested in.
Yeah.
Now, the speakers I might have been interested in, but since I would have to compete on the road with all those other people that are going for the concert. Yeah, I'll just skip that. Yeah, so I'm looking here at this article in Time magazine, and it looks like they're getting things in place to make sure that it's most likely going to be a safe event. Um, but it looks like they're trying to make room for 5,000 to possibly 10,000 people in this little town of Rachel, which I think has a population of 50. They're going to be making sure that there's food out there and that there's water and entertainment on hand to make sure that people don't get bored and go and try to actually storm Area 51. And it looks like the National Guard is going to be out there to make sure that people don't try to get near Area 51. And there's going to be a lot of police out there. But some of the key things I'm not seeing in here is, if they're opening up any additional roadways to deal with this level of traffic. And I'm not seeing anything about, oh, hey, we're going to have more gas out here. I mean, this place is 3 hours away from Vegas. If you're stuck in a line of traffic and you don't have a very fuel efficient car, there's going to be a lot of cars that are just going to bleh on the side of the road with no gas. On top of all of that, there's probably not going to be any cell service. I mean, the whole entire county, which is like the size of what, like Massachusetts or something, the whole entire county only has 5,000 people total. That's it. It's a small county. And with the cell service they have out there, it's not set up for doubling its population. So even if there are emergency situations out there, there's not going to be any cell phone service. And I don't want to waste my spot locator button push on a concert in the desert. I think that the rescuers would laugh at me and I would be mortified, and I'd never want to use a spot locator ever again because I would be ashamed of doing that. Because this is something that I should have planned ahead for. But if you are going out there, just make sure to be kind to the locals. I mean, they actually did not want this foisted upon them, but then an internet joke became a huge deal. And now they're kind of being forced into this. It kind of seems like. Maybe not, but it kind of gets that vibe because it seems a lot of the residents are very concerned about what's going on. So if you do go out there, make sure to be kind to them, be respectful to them. Make sure that you go prepared, like really, really prepared. And don't anticipate your cell phone to work because their cell service isn't really going to be covering that. And make sure that you arrange a place to stay early because you don't want to be just going out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the desert, it's hot, people die there. Like I said, I shouldn't be alive. You can watch plenty of videos of people nearly dying in the desert. You don't want to be one of those people. And just be prepared for the fact that, these roadways out there, they usually only have a few people traveling back and forth and stuff like that through the desert. And now you're going to have thousands of people going through the desert to this area. So just make sure to really plan ahead. Like, however much water you think you need, double it. Make sure you take some extra gas with you because there's probably not going to be any. And if you're a lady, be prepared. I hear the dirt out there is vicious on delicate regions. Oh, and bring your sunscreen. That's critical. I know that they're saying that they've got state of emergency orders ready just in case trouble happens out there and that people are needing help, but we've seen the government's had some rough spots helping people out. So make sure if you are going to head out there, make sure you prepare yourself first and take care of yourself. And really don't expect to rely on someone else to take care of you. And if it looks like, this year goes pretty well and they get it smoothed out and they get it safe and figured out, or maybe if the other group that's doing the UFO conference that's kind of nearby on maybe a different date, then we'll go ahead and head on out there and visit that and check out those areas. So the event is going to be on September 20th through 22nd, and like I said, we'll go ahead and keep an eye on how things go this year. If there's any changes, we'll probably go ahead and talk about that too, even though we've decided we're not going to go out there. But if it does turn out to be a success, and people make it to where this becomes an actual event, and maybe it's focused a bit more on the paranormal stuff instead of just turning into another Burning Man or a Coachella, then we'll go ahead and head out there ourselves next year. But if you are going, let us know in the comments about what your plans are when you go out there. Are you prepared for it? Were you still hoping that people are going to be Naruto running towards the Area 51 gate? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Even though we're not going out there, it's something that I want to watch from afar. In a clean, acidy, alkaline, sandy environment in my wonderful, wonderful house. Or maybe I'll be in the woods. Oh, and by the way, as for the postcard winners, I keep trying to respond to your comments, but for some reason YouTube keeps deleting them. So I'm going to keep trying my hardest to let you know to email me. But I do have you guys written down about who you are. I just don't know why. It's probably because this is a new YouTube channel and YouTube's probably like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of people responding here. I don't know. But I am trying to reach out to you guys. I keep trying. They're just being a booger for me. And if you like this content here, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and select that bell. See, I did not use the millennial slap that button. Oh. Just go ahead and select the bell so that way you get notifications when we're popping this up. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, that's when YouTube will kind of free us up to actually do live streams. They put a whole bunch of restrictions on it. So at 1,000 subs, we'll be able to actually start live streaming, and then it will truly be Squatchable Live. Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about this as other things come up, as it gets closer to the event, and as soon as we find out what this event actually is like. So make sure to subscribe to get those updates. All right, I'm going to go in and go to bed because I've got a early morning coming up, so bye!